The last piece is what I call a building change leadership capacity, which really ties in with this prior principle, which is you've got to be able to get people who are capable of delivering this program or any program, and you have to train them well because they're not going to just deliver it on their own. So part of scalability and replicability is also the training of the change leadership who can then scale it up. But if you step back and look at the implicit assumptions that many change leaders have, it is that if only people understood what was needed and they made better arguments, people would just change. And what we find is that knowledge and awareness doesn't change people. If we were to change based on that, we would all have maybe different lifestyles because we know about food and we know about diet, and we know about exercise, we know about a lot of things that we don't do by virtue of knowing. And so passing legislation certainly gets people to have to do it, and that's where most people operate, that's how you have to get. But even more profound than that is the question of who's accountable for the change. And usually the change leadership says it's the people who aren't ready to change. And if they would have gotten it, then, and maybe I can work harder to have them get it, or maybe we can pass a law for those that are recalcitrant who don't get it. But what I have come to believe is that the reason why the changes are not happening at the levels that we might wish is that the change leadership itself has not examined its strategies, its tactics, the state of the art of a change leader, who they are, how they operate, what knowledge they have or don't not have about transformational interventions, which is fundamentally what we're talking about with change. I was, again, just doing a training recently, and, these are all leaders of nonprofits. And rarely have they examined how to do change. And I was speaking to another change leader who said, we've never thought about behavioral change, but that's our business. So we don't even think about the process. So my belief is, and one of the things that's motivated me to do this work, and one of my beliefs, actually, or my core convictions, is that we that call ourselves change leaders, and people know who they are. That's a self-identified characteristic. I am in that, that's my core aspiration in the world. Have to look at ourselves first before we look out there, and we have to look at what we need to change in terms of our strategy, what we need to change in terms of our attitudes, what we need to change in terms of our way of viewing others who we perceive as being unreceptive to the change. And that's what's motivated me to get into this work. I think we could change the world if we learned how to get change leaders more skillful. That's my drive, my aspiration, is to raise the level of play, raise the game of those who call themselves, who are called, not call themselves, but those who are called to be part of the solution. So it's really a lot about community organizing in a very sophisticated way. It's a lot about really getting behavioral change. It's working with the whole system as carefully as possible. It's working to get the behaviors measured so you can show the system that the drops are filling the bucket. It's not easy to do, but the nature of the changes required, there's no easy answers. How else do you achieve these things? Because you can't pass the laws, and you can't get people through financial incentives to make the changes. So either you just assume that we're going to just stay at this level and not make the changes in society, or you have to think out of the box, and this is part of that. And it's working. And we've won, many, many awards, and it's a state-of-the-art, a process. And I'm in the process of writing a book on this now, and it's people are very excited about this.